Yeah, it's all good.
Acknowledge me.
Leveled by Marvin Constant, the redshirt freshman out of Tuscaloosa.
Oh, they go by now. Let him know he don't want stop. 65 yards as the ball was thrown away from the line of scrimmage. Gerald Dixon.
Hey, you forgot to see my book.
Hey, I mean, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We live.
Saturday night talking about. I made the ad intro, even though that's the Bama standards. I made that one too. You know what I'm saying? But we live tonight, baby. We had some technical difficulty, guys, but we in here tonight. We got some guests with us, two guys. I'm gonna introduce everybody. I'm gonna pass the mic to JB. JB can pass it on to everybody. We got my man Tyler from WDHN, the sports director from down there. How you doing tonight, Tyler?
I'm doing great, man. Great to be here. Glad that you were able to have me.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna have a great night tonight, guys. Again, to the chat, man, we apologize, guys. And over in the far corner, you guys are probably wondering how we have an LSU guy in here.
Yes, sir.
This is my man Nathan from Busted Knees Sports, and he has Tuesday night Talking Tigers, and he has a show on TikTok. Tell us about that real quick, brother.
Man, JB, he was like, man, go ahead and start that LSU show, bro. Don't be scared. Just go ahead and do it. And so now, this Tuesday at 6:30 Central Time on Busted Knee Sports will be episode 19 of Tuesday Night Talking Tigers, the source for LSU news on TikTok. It's been a lot of off-season. We've not been a whole lot to talk about, but we're getting ready, gearing up, building a hype train for the Nuts Bus and the 2024 LSU Fighting Tigers.
All right, man. So my host, my man, my mellow, JB. How we doing tonight, brother?
Enough about the LSU talk, but welcome to the show, my guy. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
I'm your boy,
Appreciate
JB.
you having me on.
The man of the people, as always. Y'all are here watching us for the very last Saturday before game week kicks off. Saturday night talking Bama, and we in here live, baby. You know what it is.
Know what it is, Marshall, my man. How we doing tonight, brother?
Man, unfortunately I'm a little under the weather, but we're making it through it. I couldn't miss the last Saturday. I can't thank Nathan and Tyler enough. Of course, Stephen M. I know I see you over there. I can't thank y'all enough for being here. This is awesome to have y'all. Hopefully that we can reach out and collide more often.
Yes, sir. Stephen M.
bro.
Smith, my man in the Deacon chair, baby. In the big stepper chair. How you doing, brother?
Man, I mean, this chair is an undefeated chair. Once again, I appreciate Deacon Bennett for the chair here, but this is the last week where you don't have Alabama football. Bama football returns Saturday of next week, August 31st in Bryant-Denny. It's going to be crazy. First game of the season against Western Kentucky. I'm excited for it. Depth chart comes out next week. I'm excited to see it.
We're going to touch base on that depth chart. We're going to touch base on Western Kentucky. But just really, really quick, and I want everybody to be really quick on this. We're not going to – because everybody's already touched base on this topic. I just want to real quick on A.K. Deer. He has committed to the good guys. My man had 2,000 rushing yards, 27 touchdowns as a junior at Quitman High. I mean, do balled out. Expect to have a great year. I think it's a big commitment for Bama. JB, tell us how you feel, and then we'll pass up to Tyler, Marshall, Nathan, and then Stephen M.
Before I do that, we got to hit these sponsors. So you already know about Title Tower. Football season never ends. It's about to start back up next Saturday. It's already started back up. So if you don't have a Title Tower, go to whitwheelsports.com. Get you a Title Tower. Use the promo code STANDARD to get you a nice little discount courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standouts.
All right. And also for our main sponsors, guys, Workspace Pros. If your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, they're who you need to contact today, guys, right here at the bottom, workspacepros.com. Thank you so much, JB. We do not want to forget our sponsors. I so forgot about that, man. It's exciting. We got the season coming on, man. We less than – it ain't even 7 days now. It's technically 6 days and some hours. And some hours if we getting technical right now. We're breaking down and we're looking at it. So I'm excited, man. But one of our big topics tonight is going to be We're gonna talk about AK Deer real quick. I already was talking about that. JB, give me your opinion on that, and then we'll bounce forward on that. JB, how you like about that?
I love it, man. I love it. Another excellent pick. Mississippi kid. You know, Caleb Cunningham had a lot to do with that. Package deal, like Stephen M said weeks ago. So I'm glad he finally decided to join the good guys, you know. And I'm going to say this about all the recruits. I hope they just put pen to paper during National Signing Day so I can get really excited about it because there's too much flipping going on for me. So, but thank you, AK Deer. Just put that pen to paper, big fella, so you can sign with the Tide, baby.
I love it, baby. Mr. Tyler, man, how did you what'd you think about this commitment here? Are you there, bro?
Muted there.
You muted.
I don't know if you can hear.
You might
can
be
you hear me, bro?
He could be speechless. I mean, this is quite an acquisition by the University of Alabama, and this just continues the legacy that is known as running back U. It's enough to put anybody's speech surrendered. And see, he had to go because he couldn't handle that. but that's okay. Bama's not for everybody. I'm just kidding. We're going to work on getting him back, folks.
Justin,
that's funny. That's funny. Nathan, we'll go to you. We'll come back to my man, Tyler. Nathan, real quick, man. I know we talked briefly about this real quick, man. What do you think about Alabama getting a highly recruited running back right now? And with it being a Southern commit as well, where DeBoer, they're saying he can't recruit yet. You know, he's rolling them in.
That's the one thing I'll touch on with that is, you know, people that don't pay attention think Bama's not recruiting, think DeBoer's not recruiting. He's recruiting, but like it's a matter of putting the product on the field that keeps these recruits because LSU is kind of in the same position with Brian Kelly right now. Like, we got these recruits right, but let's keep them. Like you said, JB, it don't mean anything till they sign the paper, bro.
Yep.
That is very true. Stephen
sure.
M. Smith, man, on AKD, real quick, we just want to touch real quick on it, man. How we feel about this?
I love the move. What I love more about the move is it doesn't have Anthony Rogers back away. You're still going to have Turbo. You keep both guys. You're going to have a very strong backfield.
I love that. I love that, especially going forward. That's going to be really good. My man Tyler back just in time. You good, brother?
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. I guess internet's crapping out on me a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it happens, bro.
now.
It happens. It plenty happens to me. Cannot lie about that one. How you feel about Bama getting AK Deer, man?
Oh man, you always love when you get a top back in the class. It just shows that Kalen DeBoer coming in, obviously a guy that is known for his passing attack in the offense, but it's showing you that he's not going to let the ground game go anywhere at Alabama. Obviously, the ground game is tradition at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and that shows that's not going to go anywhere. If it worries me anywhere, it's that this might encourage, or maybe not encourage, but put a bad taste in Turbo Rogers' mouth. Hopefully that's not the case. But you know what? It's just like in-state commits are leaving us left and right. And you want a guy like Turbo Rogers to stay.
You definitely do. I think maybe that they both see that they have a room in this, plenty of mouths to feed in this offense here because Kalen DeBoer, we had D'Lo Davis on, Alabama DB right now on the team, and he talked about this team scoring 40-plus points a game, saying that they're going to put up numbers. You've heard other wide receivers say that as well. I've seen that numerous of times of players saying that, which is something. I mean, somebody's got to be scoring when you're scoring 40 a game. Somebody's got to score, so that's going to be fun there. We're going to touch you, but go ahead.
It'll be encouraging when you see Jam Miller and Justice Hank do it this year together.
That will be I like that. That's going to be very interesting there. I'm going to touch base on a buy or sell on that one later on in the show, guys. Y'all hang tight on that because I like that. We're going to move forward, guys. Bama has Western Kentucky on the schedule lined up, guys.
You skipped Marshall.
I skipped Marshall? No, I didn't. It's because we moved around.
We waited on Tyler. No, we waited on Tyler.
Well, that and we moved around. Marshall, real quick, AK Deer.
I absolutely love it. Number 2 back in for his class at the current moment that could easily move up with a strong senior year. Everybody likes measurables. 6'1", 200 pounds. And like you said, JT, rushing I got the notes right here. 2,016 yards, 27 touchdowns. Very impressive at that level. And I have to go back to Stephen M's point real quick. Bama's always had a very powerful two powerhouse back setup. And I don't think that's going to affect Turbo too much.
Maybe they come in together, man. You come in together, you're that 1-2
You can
tight
grow
punch,
together.
you know?
You can grow together.
Yeah, push each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing there. So Marshall, great take there, brother. Great take there. And we're gonna bring in real quick. Tribal Chiefs right now, guys. Put him up right now. He's about to enter real quick. Here he is.
Real quick, Nathan. First of all, thank you for bringing an LSU perspective. We love to get the SEC involved as much as we possibly can. We try to be an objective network. We like to bring everybody in and not just troll other teams. We want them to have a reason to come here. One of the things I want to talk to you about, how well y'all been doing in recruiting as well, since we're on the topic of that. Today, you just got a 6'10", 170-pound DB, Aiden Andy. Congratulations on that. If you would kind of touch on how LSU is doing in the recruiting cycle. And Brian Kelly's doing a phenomenal job. Like you said, you feel like he's still trying to prove himself, and it feels like he is. He's got some big names. The SEC is strong. The SEC name sells itself. So if you would kind of lightly touch on that before we move on to the next topic.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity, to talk about the Tigers, because I feel like we are one of the more underrated teams in the country. And Brian Kelly's recruiting at the top of that 2025 class. We've got a top 5 class for 2025, highlighted by the number 1 QB, number 1 running back. And, of course, we lost out on DeCorian Moore, but I heard that was like a going back and forth to the very end kind of decision. And, like you've already talked about with the recruit from Bama, nothing means anything until it's on paper this year, like until they sign on National Signing Day. But Brian Kelly, man, he's recruiting his ass off. Bringing in Corey Raymond and Bo Davis was big, man. Like when you bring in a coach that built DBU and you bring him back, because you understand those first couple of years, what were we lacking? Defensive intensity and a few dogs on that defensive side. Now, Perkins is wearing number 7, and let me tell you something. We ain't had a defensive player wear 7 in a long time. It's going to be fun this year, man. I'm excited. I'm extremely excited.
Perkins is a great player.
I did shed a little bit of a tear, Nathan, when I was watching Derek Meadows play earlier on TV. Y'all took him from us, but I get it. Y'all have produced some great wide receivers into the NFL, and he's a good one, man. He's a monster, and he's going to do some good things at LSU. But then again, like you said, we got a lot of time between now and signing day, and you know how kids can be, man. Their emotions run wild, and they can change their minds like 5 times, like Stephen Smith's guy, Antonio Coleman. But it's always fun. But if he does indeed stay with the Tigers, y'all got a pretty solid wide receiver.
Man, I hope so. We
Meadows
have to put the product on the field to keep the guys, though. That's what it really – y'all are – DeBoer, this is a big year for DeBoer. It's a big year for everybody now. Every game matters.
It's a big with the playoff the way it is now and shaped up with the 12 team and then the 14 team leaning right on the corner right here, and then a possible break of 16 team. You got to think these contracts were only 2 years. They did the 2 year for the 12. They got a 2 year for the 14. Who knows what's going to be after that? It could be 16. It could be top 25. I don't know how they're going to do this. So yeah, man. Right now, you definitely and DeBoer definitely needs to win right now, because the ship is flying great. You keep it flying great, everything's great. You know what I'm saying? Like if it crashes, it's got to rebuild it back up. So. But
Brian Kelly did just produce a Heisman winner, so that's a good track.
Let's see real quick. Let's touch this.
Got a
guys.
super chat.
Think the defense will go through growing pains, learning DeBoer's and defensive coaches schemes. So, all right. So we've somewhat touched on this. Stephen M. Smith can elaborate right after this. I'm gonna touch real quick. Yes. I think there may be. Malachi Moore talked about this months ago, though. He spoke about the first couple weeks of learning this defense. He was a little confused, but once he got it, he was like, oh, it's kind of see ball, get ball type deal. There isn't more of like, I have to be here and do this job. It's more of, all right, I'm right here. What's going on? All right, look at the ball. Boom. Okay. So, I think there could be. There's definitely going to be in-game things. But at the same time, I believe the offense clicks faster than the defense. If that's what you're asking me too, I'll take the offense being more than the defense. Stephen M. Smith, real quick, tell me what you think, because you see this team firsthand. You see, on practice. You're seeing it, recently. Tell us real quick, brother.
So when I look at this, I mean, you can see, a couple of growing pains just due to, this is going to be your first time playing against somebody, not yourself. So you can see it a little bit, but I think you're not going to see as much because the defense has been pared down. Kane Wommack's got these guys flying around the ball fast, so that's not going to be much of an issue. And I think offensively, these guys have gotten DeBoer's system. So it's not going to be a huge deal offensively either because Milroe knows what DeBoer and Nick Sheridan want from him. The offensive line knows what it's supposed to do. So I don't see too many just bad growing pains.
I'm with you. I'm in the same boat. I don't see too many. Let's see. Shout out JB being a guest on my podcast earlier this week.
Shout out Nick Beasley, baby. Nick Beasley show.
Nick.
Shout out, baby.
I see Nick all over my Twitter feed a lot, man.
That's my dog.
Yeah,
Do we have any concerns? He asked about the D-line. Any concerns about the D-line? If I had to say, I would say to start off, maybe somebody has to put themselves in position to be that lead dog. Will it be Jaheim Otis? Will it be Tim Keenan? Tim Smith? Who will it be? And Stephen M., you said this as well. Guys are going to rotate. We have a lot of moving pieces, a lot of depth on the defensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see early on who steps up to be the alpha dog on the defensive line.
It's going to take who steps up to be the alpha personality of that front, but also how much do you trust that rotation, right? Get all of those guys in the field, let them wreak havoc in the opposing team's backfield. Now, I think that there's quite a few guys on this team that have that personality to be alphas, whether it's Jaheim Otis, whether it's Tim Keenan, LT Overton. Keep your eyes on him.
Yeah.
Jamarian Latham, another one. Keep your eyes on Latham. So there's several guys that have alpha personalities. It's just when you open up the season, who's going to take that mantle and being like, y'all running behind me. Like, I'm going to be out here first, and y'all run behind me. So that's what's going to be interesting.
That is. It's going to be very interesting, guys, and something that we can kind of move on to we can shift with that and talk about that some too, is our game this coming up week is Western Kentucky. Just a quick little breakdown. Some guys that I kept an eye on. We can break down the defensive side too. But just some things. I think that a lot of the questions for Alabama right now is going to be the 4-2-5 defense. If you look at it, the quarterback they're going to have is going to be quarterback TJ Finley, former LSU quarterback and Auburn in that 2021 game. That was a crazy game. Also, a wide receiver, guys, that you're going to have to keep an eye on, and JB knows what I'm talking about right here too, is Kisean Johnson, B-Ham guy, plays at Western Kentucky now, but was at Bama State. Also, this guy's fast. He led the SWAC conference for 2022 and 2023. He's the most productive receiver. Dude is a elite player. So I'm not saying I'm trying to paint, all these things of Western Kentucky, but we can't overlook nobody. Even Saban said that. Can't overlook nobody. So I'm going to pass it to Stephen M. Smith real quick and just get your breakdown for the game real quick, man, and we'll pass it on down the list real quick. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, my main thing is going to be is how does Bama come out right? Does Bama come out fast? Does Bama come out aggressive? Do they come out swinging early? Do they come out establishing some drives? Because we know the first couple of games of the season, they're not going to show everything. So how do they come out with what they do show? Sustaining drives, putting points on the board, and then defensively coming out flying around the field, making plays on defense, getting sacks, creating turnovers. So how does Alabama come out this game will be what my eyes will look at against Western Kentucky.
Okay. JB, tell us real quick, man, how you feel about Western Kentucky this coming up weekend, man?
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be a good matchup early on. and we should be able to pull away. But I will say you got TJ Finley back there, who's in his probably 6th year of college football right now, on his 4th team right now. I have no faith that TJ Finley is going to do anything. They may score a touchdown, but I will say Kisean Johnson, that you mentioned him, he was a dog at Alabama State, led them in production. He is going to catch the ball multiple times. He's going to have his name called
number 0
times.
too, guys.
Yes, age 0.
Watch that one.
So watch him.
That one.
But and I don't know. I feel like the defense should eat because TJ Finley's gonna sit back in that pocket and be a statue. But I'm expecting us to grab a hold of this game and just dominate this game and just show people what's to come with from the beginning of this season, and hopefully we carry this momentum on all the way to the playoffs.
Okay, Marshall, man, how we feeling this coming up game, Alabama versus Western Kentucky, man? Give us a breakdown how the game's going to go down, man. What you feel, man?
JB almost took the words right out of my mouth because it's a little bit of what Stephen M said as well. Whenever it's really how they're going to address the field in terms of energy and execution. We've heard all the talk. We addressed it even earlier. It doesn't matter to when you put pen to paper. It matters what you do on the field for LSU, for all these teams. But for this first game, I think it's going to be a very dominant showing. I think, again, what JB just said, it's going to help. That first game is always important because it can help propel you and carry that momentum into future games, especially with going on the road, going to an area we haven't gone in a long time, to Wisconsin and whatnot. So it's just going to be, it's an important game in that aspect.
That is true. Nathan, I'm going to let you go last because I want to get your perspective on TJ Finley in a second. Tyler, real quick, man, next weekend, Western Kentucky. We talked about the quarterback situation, the wide receiver. They got Kisean Johnson. On the defensive side, there's some guys, but the two guys I named right here are probably going to be the main guys I feel of their team. How we feeling coming into the game next week?
I don't worry about our offense at all. I think the only problem our offense could have is if we start getting into penalties and taking yards away from ourselves. Otherwise, we should be able to move the ball just fine. But to talk about our defense and what the primary area of concern for this Alabama team is, and it's the secondary. You know, they're young, especially at that number 2 cornerback spot. You might be starting a true freshman. You call TJ Finley a statue, but last year at Texas State, that man threw it around. I mean, it was an air raid, and Western Kentucky is the definition of an air raid offense. And they're going to test the defensive backs, and that's going to be a good test early on. Western Kentucky, not a team that you should really be afraid of, but a team that can be a good test for a young defensive back room that has something to prove, frankly.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's actually a great breakdown there. A great point right there. Real quick, Nathan, man, tell me this breakdown, man. You had TJ Finley as your quarterback at one point.
Yeah.
And tell me real quick.
He ain't his quarterback no more. That's why he's at his third school since he's been in college. But
okay.
You know, like the man just said, he did throw the ball a lot at Texas State. It's a similar system to what he's in now. And, you know, against the conference competitions, TJ Finley won't look that bad. He shows a little bit of a flash of some really good deep ball accuracy. And when he's mobile in the pocket and can skirt out a little bit, he can be really good. He just won't be good against that Alabama defense, no matter how young they are at the secondary position. But look for him to take some shots and maybe test those young corners early.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you guys. I actually like what Tyler said with that right there when he was speaking about that not a team you should be scared of necessarily. Don't sweat the bullet, but you can get some actual, some reps here. Definitely with them testing the secondary. A lot of question marks in the secondary. We'll see how that goes there. All I know is this. I'm waking up next Saturday, and the first thing out my mouth is going to be, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Boy, I'm getting up yelling, all right? I'm talking about I'm going to be live all next Saturday. Y'all wait for this. I'm going to announce it real quick before we move to our next topic, though. September the 6th. The Bama Standard has a live show at Bryant Denning Museum. It's going to be amazing, guys. 6 p.m. Central Time. I don't know exactly the time of what I'm about to announce, but Talking Bama will have their own segment in the show with them, and we'll be on. So me and JB is going to be there. We'll see about Marshall. Stephen M. Smith will be part of the panel already on Bama Standard. He'll already be there giving his whole thing. Me and JB is going to be on the side, guys. We're going to have a great time. Everybody come join us if you're there, especially everybody there going to be for the Nick Saban honoring the field for him the next day. If you're there that Friday night, come check us out at the museum, guys. We're going to have a great show, jam-packed full of information right before the game. We can talk about the game before. And that'll be fun. I'm excited about that. That's going to be very fun. JB.
Yes, sir.
Something I want you to kind of, I'm gonna say it real quick, and I want you to lead us off, and then we'll let Stephen M. Smith follow and stuff, and I'm gonna let y'all go on this one because our next topic is about Nick Sheridan, and is he the quarterback guy for us? Is he the guy that's gonna help us develop Milroe? Kalen DeBoer talked about how big of a help it was having him come down right now. So break that down for me real quick, man, and tell me you think this is going to be the piece behind. The head coach always gets all the shine, but who's the guy behind making moves? Just like LSU, you can say, who the head coach was, but Joe Brady won that championship in 2019, bro. I don't care what y'all say. Joe Brady won that championship, bro.
I don't deny it. The championship happened, and it was beautiful.
I'm not taking nothing. I'm not taking nothing away. Taking nothing away, brother. I'm just stating a fact of like these guys that play behind the scenes of coaches, quarterback coaches, offense coordinators. They play a big role in these things. So JB, real quick, man, how we feel about this, man?
I like it, man. Nick Sheridan, kind of the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. Him and Milroe seems to have, built a bond. So I'm gonna be watching that relationship closely. Mm-hmm. And hopefully he's on the field. Stephen, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know yet, or has it been announced? Is he gonna be on the field or in the box? Do you know about that, Stephen?
Well, right now, no information has come out about that, but I could see a situation where Nick Sheridan would be on the field. What I like about Coach Sheridan is, Coach Sheridan is a straight shooter. He's funny. Coach Sheridan's funny, but that man is also a straight shooter. And if you listen to Milroe talk about him, he loves this guy. Milroe couldn't stand Bill O'Brien. Milroe, low key, the relationship with Tommy Reese was okay, but like when Nick Sheridan's come in here, like Milroe and Sheridan are like this. Like Nick Sheridan and Milroe are really close. And so it's crazy. I tell people this. Nick Sheridan knows exactly what Milroe is going through because Nick Sheridan was a quarterback in Michigan. So he was coached by Lloyd Carr, and then Rich Rodriguez came in. So he understands that transition that Milroe is going through between Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer now. So he's been able to not only guide Milroe through that, but challenge Milroe and get the best out of him in terms of being the full quarterback. So I think Sheridan is what you need. And if anything else, we saw what Sheridan did with Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yep.
And I think that speaks for itself right there. That does speak for itself.
Let
Tyler,
me add
real
to
quick. Go ahead, Jimmy.
So this is Milroe's third offensive coordinator in 3 years. Well, his second year starting, he got a new offensive coordinator. Uh-huh. Last year, Tommy Reese brought on Tyler Buckner, who he was familiar with at Notre Dame. This year, we got Austin Mack, who was with DeBoer at Washington. Different situation, though. They brought Tyler Buckner in to compete because they were competing for the quarterback job all offseason last season and the first 3-4 weeks of the year. This year, it's completely Milroe's team. Milroe's the lead dog, QB1. No quarterback controversy or competition at all. So I think he'll be comfortable this time, and I think he'll be a success.
I agree 100% there with you, bro. Tyler, real quick, man, I want you to give us your breakdown real quick, man. Nick Sheridan, with his quarterback swabby talk, man, he comes in, he gets Milroe locked in, like Stephen F. Smith was saying. You think this is going to be the quarterback whisper from Milroe right here, and he gets that passing down, the close range, the mid game, all that stuff. How you feel about that?
You hope so. JB has a great point there. It was Tommy Reese last year, and he brought in this guy with him, Tyler Buckner. And I don't even know that it wasn't a fair competition. I feel like Reese wanted Buckner in there, and that shows that Buckner was the first guy out on the USF game. Like, if you want to give somebody else a chance, Ty Simpson should have been the other guy to get a chance before Buckner. Reese got his way and got Buckner out there. And then finally, after a while, he actually started calling plays for Jalen Milroe, and that's really when you start seeing Milroe take off down the stretch. Now you got a guy like Sheridan coming in who, like you say, has that bond with Milroe already and already has shown that he can make the quarterback better than he was, even when that quarterback was already great with Michael Penix Jr. You don't want to ignore the elephant in the room that Ryan Grubb was a huge part of this offense as well. Yes. Obviously, he's on with the Seahawks. But Sheridan, Sheridan's a big part of it as well, and you hope to see that mesh. Jalen Milroe is also a fantastically talented player. So, as long as Sheridan is not actively sabotaging him, I think that should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm big on that, man. I think Sheridan's going to be good. I think this is going to be a great move. Also, we're not going to forget about this. Jamarcus Shepard's going to do his favor with the wide receivers and have the wide receivers doing their part too, man, because I think that's the part Bama's missed over the past couple of years. We've had 2 outside linebackers drafted very high, and we've had no wide receivers drafted in the first round at all, whereas normally that's, other way around there. So we want to get that back. Marshall, real quick, man, how you feel about Nick Sheridan, man, and the development with Milroe this year? And do you think that's going to be good? Real quick, we'll do something. I'll start it with you, Marshall, and I'm going to go back and ask everybody else. But when you break this down,
I just wanted to address on the point. We're going to take questions at the end, guys, for the people in the chat. I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I just see a lot of people asking. We're going to take questions at the end. With Nick Sheridan, it always helps whenever you have someone that can communicate with your quarterback. And now people got to remember, college QBs, you have one player on offense and one player on defense that can your coaches can talk to you now. Like in the NFL.
Oh, they're testing all that new stuff out. Yep.
Yeah. So they're going to be now. It might not be Nick Sheridan, but he can chime in from time to time. It's most likely going to be the offensive coordinator, but that's going to help. You get that relaxing voice, the guy that can help you calm your nerves if the situation ever calls for it. But I think that his situation is better this year than it was last year as a whole.
Okay.
Obviously, you downgrade at the head coaching position because you lost the greatest head coach of all time.
Yeah.
But you upgrade at every other position coach on the offensive side of the ball. Like, it's going to help you. The O-line is going to be better. The receivers are going to be better. He's going to be able to break down defenses a little bit better because that's what the offensive coordinators have been designed to do. You thought that was all Michael Penix last year? You had 2 first-round wide receivers. I think we have first-round wide receivers now. So, it's all a good melting pot for Milroe to just be extremely successful.
Huge on that. Nathan, real quick, man, do you think – I'm going to just ask you a simple question on this because I know you don't keep up with Bama as much about the Nick Sheridan stuff. But do you think Milroe, you're going to buy or sell this, 3,500 yards, buy or sell? High, low. Buying means he's gonna get it or more. Selling means he ain't.
I'm gonna buy it, bro. I'm gonna buy it. I have y'all are not gonna like, and at some point you're gonna have to hear my Bama take if you don't already. Man, I look whack with this camera angle, y'all.
No, bro,
y'all was looking good though, so it's all good. But I think he'll be a lot better. I think he'll be in the Heisman race for most of the season. But with me having Alabama finishing 9-3, I think that. He won't win the Heisman, but he will be in that conversation until,
Hey, Daniels just won the Heisman with 3 L's, but now he did go crazy. I'll give you that. And my whole argument months before it was, I don't care what y'all say. If he has 3 losses, he ain't winning it. I said that, and I ate those words. I went back and even said, all right, I was wrong, completely wrong, but I said that, so we'll see about the losses. But I think Justin said we were going to be 9-3 too. So I don't think that's a bad take, Nathan. Saying that, I wouldn't say that one's crazy. I wouldn't say
some
that's
people
crazy.
are crazy with seeing Bama falling off a cliff. I think a lot of that is wishful thinking. Like if you look at your team, y'all are young in the secondary. You're good at the D line, which is what you need to do. You're good at the O line. You bring in a quarterback that last year showed flashes of really, really great football. Like y'all talk about how when they started using him right, which unfortunately was against LSU for my Tigers, man. Like the way that Jalen Milroe was used against us last year shows me that the guy has Heisman talent.
Mm-hmm. He does. I agree with that. And if we could have just somehow took that same playbook and just adjusted that to every game so the rest of the season, we may have won a national title. I'm just saying, because it's like we were like, hey, we know what to do with Milroe. Don't do that again. Just leave that, throw that playbook away. Is what I feel like
possession away.
Did. I was so confused. Like my mind was blown. Like, hey, we know what to do. Tell him, say hike and run. Like, quit doing all that. Like, quit making him Tom Brady. Okay. He's a good quarterback. I'm not saying that. And he's going to develop. And I'm on board with this, with every take that was said right here. Nick Sheridan's going to be the guy. I think Jamarcus Shepard's going to help him out, though, as well with the wide receivers. And I think it'll be elite, So, JB, real quick, man, tell us who we sponsor by, brother. What's up, Justin?
I was going to throw something in real quick. Y'all have done a great job in covering what Nick Sheridan is doing. You talk about transitioning between coordinators. You have one coordinator who basically said, I'm not going to do anything with you. Then you get to a coordinator who was saying, I don't know what to do with you. Now you get a coordinator who says, you know what? I can do unlimited things with you. And here's how we're going to do it. He has somebody who's going to be pouring life into him for the first time in his career at Alabama. And from a confidence standpoint, that's going to elevate his game to levels we haven't seen before. The shakiness is going to start disappearing. If you watch him in A-Day, his footwork was much better. His throws were much crisper. He was able to make decisions a lot smoother. He's not going to be the same guy. And if he does make a few mistakes, listen, don't start going back to, here we go again. This is going to be a guy that's going to turn some heads, and people don't like to compare him to Michael Penix or Michael Penix to Jalen Milroe, but Michael Penix was kind of the same guy at Indiana, and it took moving him out to Washington with elite coordinators really working with him, fine-tuning his craft, as well as Michael Penix not being hurt. And you were able to see the very best version of Michael Penix produced, and now he's the number 8 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft. He's with the Falcons right now. I have no reason why to think that won't happen for Jalen Milroe.
Here is the main thing before we shift segments here. You got a brand new center snapping the football, period.
Yeah.
Parker Brailsford is a phenomenal center. He gained weight in the offseason. He went from 275 to 298. It's a big man now. He's put on weight, snaps the ball beautifully. Milroe's never going to have to worry about where's that ball. That ball is in your hand, Milroe. You go to work. That's the big thing. You got a center snapping that ball right.
Great take, Steven.
That was awesome. I like that take.
I agree 100%. Because I went back the other day. It popped up on YouTube, rewatched the Michigan game just to watch it to see, And as I'm rewatching, I'm like, man, we won the game right here. Like we won the game. And then you would see some of these snaps, and a lot of them are ankle. Even when Milroe would pick it up and make the play, make something out of nothing. Like, it's just, man, I am glad that we got Parker.
JT, we were talking about it a few months after the game that there was you asked me to go back and watch it. There was a wide open post route that Milroe had.
Oh yeah.
He was right there up at the middle of the post. If he got the ball on time, he wins the game.
So, and I think
you told me to go back and watch it.
Yep, and I think the stat was like almost 60% of the snaps of the game was off target. So that's wild. But yeah, I'm glad you touched on that, Steven.
Great take, Steven.
JB, real quick, man, before we go into this segment, man, let the people know who we sponsored by again, brother, real quick, man.
The football season truly never ends, and we are 6 days away from Bama versus Western Kentucky, the first game of the season. Go get you a title towel with WillSports.com. Use the promo code Standard to get you a nice little discount, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standouts.
Yes, sir. And we are sponsored by Workspace Pros. If your business needs a digital presence, a full-fledged marketing team, SEO, and more, they're who you need to contact today, guys, right here at workspacepros.com. So, guys, as we transition to our last segment tonight, guys, because we ain't going to go too long tonight. We didn't have, too much, but I do want to remind the folks, we will not be live next Saturday night. We will have the post-game show, the recap. We will have the recap post-game show. That will be on. We will have that going down. But we will be live Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We will kick off the first episode of the new season right here with Kalen DeBoer. So, yeah, catch us on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central. But this is my favorite segment right here. I'm going to shout out to my man Petty on the channel with the final whistle. My man, some of these are from him. I reached out to him, and he gave me some ideas on these. These are SEC buyer sales, okay? So I'm going to lead us off, and we're going to start. We're going to go Stephen M. Smith, Tyler, JB, Marshall, Nathan. That's the order every time, okay? And I'm going to shoot off these, and you tell me buy or sell. We'll break them down. We're going to be quick about these. But at the same time, if it's something juicy, give me a good 20-second run why, okay? So, SEC buyer sales, this is one right here. It's one of my favorite ones right here. 5 SEC teams will make the playoffs. Buy or sell. Stephen M. Smith.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I mean, Ole Miss is going to be interesting. LSU is going to be interesting. Georgia is going to be interesting. Bama, Texas is going to be very interesting. I'll buy that.
Okay. I like it. Tyler, buy or sell. 5 SEC teams will make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Way too many SEC teams that are too talented to be left out. I just don't see a scenario where they don't get 5 in.
I'm with that JB. Buy or sell in this, man.
Bama, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, maybe Tennessee or LSU,
Missouri,
and possibly Missouri. I'm gonna go 6.
Oh, okay.
That's a hot take right there.
Okay, that's a good one there. Marshall, you buying or selling 5 SEC teams making the playoffs?
I'm gonna buy. These guys have actually made me change my mind right here. Because we Tyler really kind of he's completely right. The SEC's way too talented, and we've seen it in the past. They love the SEC too much because of how much talent is in it. And what the chat's saying, Missouri's a sleeper. I'm sorry, Missouri's a heavy sleeper.
They are. Nathan, real quick, man, you buying or selling 5 SEC teams making the playoffs?
Right. I'm gonna buy, and I'm gonna tell you this: this is as deep as I've ever seen the SEC. There's 7 teams that might win the conference, man. And I think we're seeing 5 teams to the playoff. I've got a hot take that Ole Miss goes 12-0, wins the SEC, but they get beat by Georgia in the SEC title game. So Georgia's the auto bid. So I got Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Missouri, all making the college football playoff. I've got Bama at 9-3 going 6, and Tennessee at 9-3 going 7. And those 2 teams could compete for the SEC title too. It's deep and it's beautiful.
I see you. Okay. I see you. Hey, take your takes. That's cool, man. I'm with you because I said
you got no love for Bama.
Hey,
look, in the playoffs.
They think it's because of Nick Saban, bro. Because a lot of fans say that Bama used we got Nick Saban. No matter who we put on the field. Now they use we don't have Nick Saban. A lot of people
I'm giving the no Nick Saban 1 loss, not 6. So I mean, at least I'm reasonable.
Agreed. That is agreed because there are some people that say
I'll let you
6
add
and
it.
5, which is wild. I'm buying this too, guys.
Do it.
You said what?
Who are your 3 losses for Bama?
I think y'all not gonna like the last one, but I think it's Georgia. I think it's LSU. Call me crazy. Y'all about to fry me, but Auburn and Bryant Denny, man.
No.
Hugh Freeze effect is real, y'all. The Hugh Freeze effect is real.
No, bro. They have
Not in Bryant
won
Denny. I'm
since
sorry, buddy.
2010.
Not in Bryant Denny.
If I'm wrong,
JB, come back, brother. Come back, JB.
If I'm wrong, it is Missouri. You're losing to 2 Tigers and a Bulldog.
Right.
I just don't know who that.
First off, we're not losing to Missouri. DeBoer's birthday is October 24th. That's mine too. We don't. The game's October 26th. We don't lose around our birthday. That's goats. All right. Nick Saban's the 31st. We don't lose around birthday.
Please say all right.
Hell of a birthday present from your new coach, bro.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
Bro.
No, that would hurt. I don't think we lose to Auburn. I would say Tennessee before Auburn.
How many home games have we lost in the last 10 years?
We've lost to Texas and
Ole Miss.
LSU.
Ole Miss in 2015.
And then second loss to Ole Miss too.
But that wasn't
That's the same
wasn't
game.
at home.
that was
That was in Oxford.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2015, and then I know Johnny Football beat us in 2012.
We beat him.
That's
We beat him twice.
Yeah, we lost LSU in 19. Did we lose to A&M at home a couple years back?
LSU in 19.
No,
Yeah, that was
no,
Johnny
no,
Football. 12.
No.
2012.
A couple of years ago, that wasn't home. That was at Kyle Field.
Yes, yeah, 22. They beat us.
That
in
was
22.
at Kyle
You're right,
Field.
at Kyle Field.
With
On
the
that
field
goal, pass interference, field goal. They got the
On
pass
the field
interference.
goal, by Seth Small. Don't ask me why I remember that kid's name.
Yeah, dude, I remember because they made T-shirts about it, Steven. They made T-shirts, bro. Because the parents that did it, I remember they had a super viral video. But all right, anyways, so that's cool, fun there. SEC teams, we're probably all buying this. That's fun, Nathan.
But I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
like those
you can
takes.
count. You can answer Tyler's question. You can answer the question with 5 fingers.
I had 3. I didn't know anymore. I counted 3. The 2012.
I'm just saying you can answer it on one hand.
2015 Ole Miss, and then the Texas loss. And I'm trying to think of any more. There might be one more.
No, y'all lost to Ole Miss twice, and then A&M.
Oh, LSU in 19.
Yeah.
But Ole Miss, both of those Ole Miss games wasn't at Bryant Denny. We're talking about at Bryant Denny.
Oh, you're talking about that.
So
Okay,
the 2015 was, and it was also, we ain't gonna talk about that crazy circus helmet.
I don't want to. Oh my God, me and Josh
that got tipped by an angel. Dude, I about tackled my TV, man. Man, godly, that was wild. But we're gonna move on. Man, it was. Dude, that was godly, that game, man. I didn't like that game. But let's move on real quick right here. This is one of my favorites. This is my hot take of the year, whatever people want to say. Are you buying or selling that Clemson will beat UGA week 1? I'm gonna lead off on this. I'm buying Clemson winning. Dabo's back's against the wall. He's got to come out swinging here. A lot of pressure on Kirby to be the GOAT. Nick Saban's gone. You the man. Spotlight's on you, cuz. Clemson's got to come out swinging. I buy that Clemson takes down UGA. How you feel about this, Stephen M. Smith? You buying or selling it?
I'm selling that, man. Georgia's going to take that one. Georgia's going to take that one, bro. They're going to take that one. Now, the game where Kirby going to have that pressure is September 28th when he comes to Tuscaloosa. That's the one where you gotta beat Bama at the house at Saban Health Field. You gotta win that one. So I think that'll be the pressure game for Kirby, but I think Georgia take care of Clemson.
Okay. All right, Tyler, buy or sell this, man.
I'll sell it. I think Georgia should handle that game. I think it'll probably be a couple scores. And as a Bama fan, I don't think you'd want Georgia to lose that game in week 1. You want them to come in and win the game.
I just think Clemson's going to win, man. I don't know what it is.
I'll sell it. I think Georgia will beat them. Even though I want them to get upset, but I got Georgia.
It'd be sweeter when we play them if they were undefeated. So I'm with y'all, but I don't know. We'll see. Marshall.
Does anybody remember the score of the last time Clemson and UGA played week 1? It was 9-6. It was 9-6.
Wasn't it a pick 6?
9-6.
Yeah.
I'm with you, JT. I'm buying.
Hey, okay. We're gonna see. We're gonna come back to this. I'm like a fool.
How many championship coaches are left in the country?
right now. Two of them about to play each other.
That's my point exactly. We're gonna see some
Brown.
we gonna see a championship game week 1.
Mack Brown at North Carolina. Don't forget about him. He is a championship coach, though. I know it was an 05, but championship,
Oh, Mackie Brown, baby. Oh,
he is still there.
Brown.
Nathan, real quick, man. Let's we're gonna get it going here. We already talked about this, but let the people know real quick. You gonna buy or sell this?
I'm gonna sell it. But I'm drinking the Clemson Kool-Aid. I'm feeling the Dabo against his wall. Understands what's at stake this year. But I did pick Clemson, and I'm glad I made my pick. I've been going live on TikTok on Busted Esports a lot lately. But before this game today, I locked in Clemson's gonna win the ACC. But it comes down to K Club next.
All right, so we'll see. I'm with that. Real quick, we're gonna fly through these real quick. Will Florida go above 500? Buy or sell it, Stephen M. Smith?
Whoo! Mercy.
I'm
gonna sell it, man, because I think they're gonna lose to Miami. I'm gonna sell that, man. I mean, I love Billy, but Billy finna lose that job.
We gonna see, Tyler.
I think I'm selling hard. We talked about all the talent in the SEC. I don't think Florida's one of those. So,
all right, JB, buying or selling it, baby.
You know I'm selling that. That's selling all the way. And Billy Napier gonna lose his job.
Oh man. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that. Marshall, buying or selling?
Selling. I'm sorry. They have they don't have the coaches to put that talent to use.
Nathan, you buying or selling?
I'm buying it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Look,
are you crazy?
Here's why. I think they beat us in the swamp personally. Okay, and we'll get into that. I'm not going to foreshadow too much, but it's right. It's right around the corner, and I got a good bit I'm going to get into and give y'all the take on anyway. But yeah, man, I think they beat 7-5. 7-5. Sunbelt Billy Graham Mertz by the numbers was not that bad last year. By the numbers, he was not that bad. So 7-5, man.
We'll see.
I like your hot takes, Nathan.
I do too. I'm selling. I'm with everybody else. I'm selling this one. Here's a good one. Will the SEC champ win the Natty? So whoever wins the SEC championship, will they be the winner of the Natty? Stephen M. Smith.
I'm buying this one. In the SEC, you got the deepest in terms of coaches. You got the deepest in terms of playmakers. Can they keep everybody healthy? That's the main thing. But I'm buying that one.
Okay. That's a buy. Tyler, you buying or selling this one?
Your only real competition is Ohio State, and I'm not a big believer of Ryan Day. So, yeah, I'll buy that.
Ooh, okay. JB?
I'll sell it.
Ooh, quick sale, baby. Okay, I can get it, though. I can get it. Marshall? Or what's up, JB?
Buying,
you want to say something?
I'm buying it. All those teams are going to be too battle-tested. I'm sorry.
Okay. Nathan, buying or selling, baby?
I'm going to buy it. The SEC winner will win the national championship. Give me the Dogs, man.
Okay, let's see, baby. I'm on the fence on this one, but if I had to say, I'm buying it. If I gotta say it, I'm gonna buy it. If I had to today, I'd buy that. Let's see. LSU will go 10-2 this year. You buying or selling that, Stephen M. Smith?
Oh man, Brian Kelly going 10-2. I'm gonna sell that 9-3.
All right.
I'm gonna sell that 9-3.
Selling it 9-3. Tyler, what we got, man? You buying or selling this one?
It's gonna be really hard to go 10-2 when you lose the USC week 1.
That's gonna be tough.
That's
gonna be tough. We'll see, man. That's gonna be a tough one, man. We'll see. That is a good game lined up. JB, what we got here? Buying or selling?
I think 9 is the ceiling for LSU, but I see 7-5 for LSU, so I'm selling that all the way.
Selling. Marshall.
I'm with JB. I'm selling hardcore. Their schedule's too tough, top to bottom.
All right.
Okay.
I'm warming
schedule's
up.
Too hard there.
Up.
Nathan, here we go, baby.
Right.
LSU.
All right, let's go. Time to shine, baby. Lights on now. All right. I'm going to give you the offensive breakdown first, okay? As the dog's been trying to chime in this whole episode, he's chiming in now. Major always got to make an appearance. But, man, offensively, we have lineups that the Kentucky Derby has not seen that are – like our running back core is as deep if not is deeper than anyone in the country.
Okay.
Caleb Jackson put on 15 pounds of pure muscle. We got Emory coming back. Josh Williams is wearing 18. We're deep at the running back room. Kyron Lacey, CJ Daniels, Chris Hinton Jr., and transfer from Bama, Anthony Anderson, are going to be our big four. Mason Taylor and Tradez Green, bro, at the tight end position. If Garrett Nussmeier does his job and does not turn the ball over, because he's got his big arm and his gunslinging ability as anyone in the country, he is up there with talent. Nobody denies that when they talk about LSU. We win. And to get into the defense, man, I'm excited, bro. And something I like that Brian Kelly did was bring in a defensive end coach and a defensive line coach. He brought in Kevin Peoples to coach the edge, and he brought in Bo Davis to coach the line. That way they don't have to worry about it. They're coaching their specific parts of the line. And Bo Davis is the best defensive line coach in the country. Y'all know that. Wasn't he at Bama for a minute? So y'all know the experience. Y'all know the Bo Davis experience. And I talked about it earlier. Brought back Corey Raymond. Blake Baker has got this defense fired up. I was blessed enough to be able to be at the LSU Ole Miss game. And I say blessed enough because it was just cool to see my Tigers in person, right? But there was no defensive communication. They weren't lining up. They weren't fitting the scheme. And something that Blake Baker said last week was that he is just scratching the potential when he was talking about Harold Perkins, right? Perkins is going to wear the 7. It's going to be beautiful. They're going to use him as a will linebacker. It's going to be – dude, the LSU defense is going to be fine. I'm buying the hell out of that. I think we lose to Ole Miss in Florida, man. I had to give y'all the LSU rundown. Look out for the defense, man. Like, it's going to be fine. They're going to blitz from everywhere. You're not going to know where it's coming from. And that offense is going to be beautiful.
We're going to see, brother. We're going to see, and we're going to talk closer in November when we play y'all. Moving on to the next one, buying or selling this, guys. The Heisman winner will come from the SEC. We buying or selling that, Stephen Smith?
Oh, man. The Heisman Trophy winner.
Good one, ain't it?
I'm buying it. I'm buying the Heisman Trophy winner. I'm buying this one.
Okay. Tyler, you buying or selling it?
I've already bought it. I've got the money on Jalen Milroe already. So that's
you go.
Gonna be my take for it.
I love it. Let's see.
Jalen Milroe. Buy it. Jalen Milroe.
I love it. Marshall, buying or selling it?
Buying.
All
said it
right.
earlier when I gave my undefeated record. I said Jalen Milroe was going to win the Heisman.
Money Milroe, baby.
All right.
Big money Milroe, baby. Nathan,
I'm buying it. And as a member of LSU Nation, man, it sucks to say it, but it's going to be Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, man. Like, he can sling the rock. What? They got better. Jackson Dart, when they go 12-0, it's going to be Jackson Dart. Man, it's like I don't want Ole Miss to be good. They have no state national championships, no actual national championships listed in their trash stadium, If you've ever been, the Grove is cool, but don't go.
Nathan, I've been to the Grove a bunch. I watched Kenyon Drake get hurt in there. I know it's trash.
Yeah, my fiance got hit in the head with a beer can that was full. When they started throwing stuff, because y'all know LSU fans are toxic, right? What's the most toxic LSU fan thing I can do? Sit in the Ole Miss student section with a Drew Brees jersey. Like, yeah, that's
Justin.
That's also one of the toughest places to play. I'm not going to lie. I've been there several times, and their disdain for Alabama just emanates throughout the stadium and makes it even more intense. It gets louder than you think. I believe what you're saying in terms of Jackson Dart. Year 3, this is going to be a polished quarterback. He's going to be a first-round guy, but my gosh, the weapons. Tight end Caden Preschool, and you got Trey Harris, Juice Wells. My Lord, this offense is about to light the sky up. If Lane is not Lane, Ole Miss could go undefeated. There's no question about that. They do beat Georgia this year.
I think so.
Look.
Here's my second Heisman pick. If Jackson Dart does not win it, Nico Imaleva is going to win it.
Ooh. Wow. Ooh. Okay, how? Because their D-line is very good, and like that Tennessee D-line is going to be good. But is Nico? I'm not going to
throw the ball to.
My grandma.
That'll be a tough one. That is definitely a
Sir, it's called segueing because we have the next by ourselves.
Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So real quick, guys. Thank you guys real quick, but I gotta go. JB's gonna lead us off tonight and finish us off. I got a fantasy draft to do. I'm super sorry, but it's a work fantasy draft. I gotta go get these Bama boys and beat them. Y'all have a good night. JB, lead us off. Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide, baby.
Roll Tide, JT.
Nico, is he as advertised? Buy or sell? Marshall.
I'm gonna sell. This is the first real year we've seen him, and I don't trust the coordinators and the coaches are gonna make use of his talents the first year. Next year might be a different story.
Come on, Nathan.
Man, okay. I'm selling, man. I'm selling because if expectation is he's a Heisman contender, I'm selling that. I think he'll be good. But to touch on what Marshall said, next year, yes. Because he didn't play great against a Iowa team that didn't have Cooper DeJean and stuff like their key guys. So let's see. He hadn't played an SEC game yet.
That's true. Steven.
Whoo-wee. Is Nico going to be as good as advertised? You know what? I'm actually going to buy this one. I think Nico's as good as advertised, but it's going to come down to this right here. How quickly does Josh Heupel get in his own way when it comes to Nico? As good as Nico is, does Josh Heupel get in his own way and offset Nico? But I buy Nico being as good as advertised.
Okay. Tyler.
I think he can be. I think he can be great year one. I don't know what as advertised means. I think he's going to be a lot better in year two. I don't think Tennessee's going to be world beaters. I definitely don't think they're going to be world beaters because of him. They got a lot of good offensive weapons, so he should be fine. But he's going to be. I think he'll be a lot better in year two.
Okay, I agree with you, man. He'll be okay. He's not going to be. I don't think he'll be a Heisman candidate this year, but. I mean, I think Tennessee will be a good team. I think he will do good in his first year. So, if he's good as advertised, they will win probably 9 games. So, all right, let's go to the next one. Ole Miss, a serious contender. We already pretty much answered this. Marshall.
I'm buying that. They are. I've never seen a team hit the transfer portal like them. It was insane what they did this offseason. I'm buying that.
Okay. Nathan, we already know what you're going to.
I'm going to buy it, but I will say when they get to the playoffs, they'll win a game, but I don't see them winning a national championship.
Okay.
But do you see them as a contender?
Yeah. I don't know. If they got to play like an Oregon, bro, Dylan Gabriel going to cook that Ole Miss defense.
They lucky they don't have to play Alabama this year.
Man, they honestly are. They really are lucky they don't have to play on.
Steven, you buying Ole Miss as a serious contender in the playoffs?
Ole Miss will not be a serious contender as long as they got Pete Golden. And Pete Golden is still the DC. They are not a serious contender because you got Petey Golden who's going to give up 60 points by himself.
Thank you.
I'm not buying it, man. I'm selling it. That defense is not good, and they lost their best offensive player in the transfer portal. They lost Quinshon Judkins. He's gone. Dart can be great. But they lost their best offensive player, and the defense is not going to be good. They can be a good team, a great team even. They're not a title contender.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. They did lose their best player, Junkins.
But he was a toxic player, right? He was so y'all don't think that was you think that was a big-ass loss, or you don't? Because he was a locker room big issue, man.
On the field, I think it's a loss. In the locker room, I'm not sure. But
I wasn't in the locker room.
What about you, JB? Yeah. Buy or sell?
I'm selling. Lane Kiffin got to show me he can win the big games. He got to show me he can win I think they win 10, 11 games maybe, but he don't play Alabama. He does play Georgia, so he has to beat Georgia. That's the big game of the year for him. But when he gets in the playoffs, he's going to lose. That's a fact. So let's go to the next one, y'all. And it is Texas and Oklahoma don't struggle adapting to the SEC. That's an interesting one. Marshall, do they struggle or not?
They definitely struggle. I'm sorry. We saw it. We saw it with the last team to enter the SEC, which, if I'm not mistaken, was what, Texas A&M. Well, they struggled the first year or two, and then they finally got their wheels under them and figured out how to navigate. But I'm selling that. Especially Oklahoma, they're always like the best team in the country one week, and then they fold the next week.
That makes sense. Nathan.
Man, I've got Texas at 10-2, and Oklahoma is actually my sleeper in year one. I think that at best they go 8-4 somehow, but I think they hover around 6-6, 7-5 realistically.
They had a tough schedule, man. But
that's primarily it. Like that, they talked all that mess coming into the conference, so that schedule's brutal this year. They're getting them for it now.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule. Steven.
Texas too.
Yep. Do they struggle to adapt, Steven? By yourself.
They do not. They don't struggle to adapt. I don't think they struggle. I think Steve Sarkisian is going to have Texas ready to be. You got Quinn Ewers. A lot of folks are back on that defense. And Oklahoma, Brent Venables, they made a killing in that portal. If they got the quarterback right, Oklahoma may do something. So I don't think they struggle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they struggle either. I'm gonna sell that one. I think they're both already great, proven teams. Oklahoma can struggle at times, but I think they're better than the bottom tier of the SEC. So I see them finishing the year with a winning record, and I see Texas obviously competing for an SEC title in year one.
I share those same sentiments. I think Texas probably lose one game, maybe two, and Oklahoma 8-4-ish, 7-5. So that's really not struggling. That's actually adapted to the SEC because you got both teams coming in from the Big 12. We got one more, and then we're going to move into the questions real quick. So the last one is Mizzou makes the playoffs at 10-2. Marshall, what you think about that? You buying or selling?
I'm taking a quick peek at their schedule.
They
do have a tough schedule at Bama, at Texas A&M. Oklahoma has to come to them. I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy that. They have they're my sleeper SEC team personally. They still have that insane Brady Cook and who was that wide receiver? I can't think.
Luther Burden III.
And I'm sorry, that kid is insane. That's a first round draft pick right there. So I'm gonna buy that.
Mr. LSU.
Man, I'm gonna buy it. And I'm gonna say it's because Luther Burden III might mess around and win the Biletnikoff. I have Missouri as 10-2, making the playoff as the fifth best team in the SEC. Man, I'm buying Missouri being good.
Steven.
I buy Missouri at 10-2, but it will not be because of Luther Burden, though he's really good. It'll be because Missouri's got a good defensive front. Missouri returns a very talented, very underrated defensive front, and I think that front's going to have a lot to do with that.
I can see this. I think you just got to win one of those games against Oklahoma and Texas A&M, and the rest of your schedule is pretty cake. So, yeah, I can buy that.
Okay. That game when they come to Nick Saban Field at Bryant Denny is a little scary. It's homecoming. We can't overestimate them. And I don't think they beat us, but I think it's a hell of a game. I can see them going 10-2, making the playoffs, so I'm going to buy that as well.
Can I ask you one more follow-up question for that,
JB? Go ahead.
What would be your score for that game? Like 34-24 type of game, or what type of score do you picture?
Yeah, 38-31, something close, nip and tuck.
Okay.
Yep, something like that.
I would have 31-17. 31-20.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. So we got some questions, man, from the chat. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all been working tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, do so, man. Bama Standard channel. This is the best Bama content network on the planet. And we thank you guys for joining us every Saturday night, leading into Sunday night talking Bama next Sunday. So we got questions. We're going to put the questions on the screen. Amber Nicole. Guys, do you think Saban saying someone has to bear Georgia today on game day was a message to Kalen DeBoer? He can show bias, but he's thinking and hoping Bama. Someone has to beat Georgia. I think that's what she meant. Someone has to beat Georgia. Fellas, what y'all think about that?
I think this is the psychology of Nick Saban, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saban understands, hey, I'm no longer coach on the sideline anymore. I'm hired by ESPN, even though I'm an advisor to the program. So here's Kalen DeBoer, who's taken over for the team that I was once running. The coach on the other side, I was like a father for him for 9 years. You know, Kirby Smart's had under Nick Saban for 9 years, 2007 to 2015. So now Kirby Smart thinking, I'm going to beat this team my daddy used to coach over here. I know Brian Denny. I coached in Brian Denny for 9 years. I was a part of 4 or 5 of those national championships. So in Coach Saban's mind, he's thinking, even though I'm not coaching no more, somebody, Kalen DeBoer, you got to continue the success of beating Kirby Smart because Kirby has only beaten Alabama once.
One time.
He's 1-5. So I think that's the message. Saban to say it. Even though I'm not coaching here, Kalen, you got the mantle. Beat him.
Yeah. Hey, I could have said it no better, Steven. I could have said it no better. And you guys agree with that? Because
he told Pat McAfee and the boys that he's literally picking Georgia to motivate Alabama. So Saban knows what he's doing. He's meticulous. He's a genius.
Yes, rat poison.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse rat poison, I think is what he called it.
Yes, yep, that's what he said on the Pat McAfee show.
That's right.
He's just thanking ESPN for the platform.
Okay.
Thank you for paying.
Don Parker.
Shouts out to Don Parker with the
DP.
College game day was disrespectful to Bama. As a realistic Tide supporter, I pay attention to game day and not hype. But this team plays with a chip on their shoulder and gets back to the standard. I agree with that. And
well said.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have a chip.
But this team. Go ahead, Marsh. My bad.
I'm just sorry. To go to Don's point, or to I guess go a different direction in a sense. When do they not disrespect Bama on game day? Ever, even when Saban was the head coach. When have they not? They hate it because we win. They want somebody new.
Yep. Here's the thing. This team, it ain't even a chip. It's a full-blown boulder.
Thank you.
It's a full-blown I watch this team every day throughout fall camp. I've never seen a more physically hungered team. You can look at these kids' faces. They like, man, forget the newspaper. I'm ready to go lay somebody out. These guys are ready to go lay some folks out and make plays out here on this football field. I'm just excited for this depth chart to come out Monday so I can see who's starting here on this depth chart once they put it in front of my face.
Okay.
But this team got a full boulder on right now. They ticked off. They ticked off.
Awesome.
Tyler, I want to hear Tyler's take real quick.
On just the Tide team, playing with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, so obviously they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder. You lose in the first round of the playoffs last year, and then half the world is projecting you to not make a playoff that's expanded to 12 teams.
Yep.
What are you supposed to make of that? When we bring in the coach that was the runner-up, we have the roster or most of the roster intact that was in there last year. You think we're not going to make it now? No. I'm going to newsflash. Bama's going to be right there in contention with everyone, and it's going to be because they don't they have the chip on their shoulder. They don't need it. This is a motivated group on its own.
Exactly. Well said, brother. All right. Daniel Denny, also, could y'all explain to me why Bama is only a 31-point favorite? It's the first game, Daniel. It's the first game. We got new coach. Steve.
Look, it's the first game, but then, I have some minor hedging bets experience with Vegas. So this is how Vegas operates, right? Vegas takes the point spread and they like to hedge the bets. They like to keep the number slightly over sometimes so they can make the majority of their money. So Vegas knows if I put that point spread for Bama at 40 against Western Kentucky, there's about a 75 to 80% chance we ain't going to make this money. So if we put this point spread at 31, there's a higher percentage that we going to get this money because Kalen DeBoer is going to put about 32, 33, 34 points on that scoreboard and been trying to take the clock as he's doing so. So that's the reason why Bama's only a 31-point favorite. Vegas is meticulous about, we want you to win money, but we want the bulk of this money. That's why Vegas is only capping this at 31.
I'm gonna do this right here. I'm gonna go around. Give me y'all picks because we got the game coming up in 6 days. I want y'all score predictions. If y'all can give me a quick score prediction, let me do mine first because now that I thought about it, I watched a lot of Western Kentucky last year because a young man, Kendrick Simpkins from Montgomery, Alabama, who I watched grow up, played for Western Kentucky on that defense. He's no longer there. He's at Baylor. They lost a lot on that team. Malachi Corley was drafted in the NFL. The quarterback is gone. They lost a lot. Bama's going to put up 52. I got Bama 52-10. So we're going to blow the point spread away. Go ahead, Marshall.
You stole the score right out. My score total was going to be 55-14. I saw someone put my score in the chat. I'm sorry. Kane I've been wanting to bring this up, but do you guys remember what Kane Wommack just said about that second scrimmage? Jesus Christ. That defense is going to destroy somebody.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Man, I think it's going to be like 42-17. I think TJ Finley's going to burn one of your corners at least once. I think they'll find a way to score 10 other points outside of that. So I think like 42-17.
Okay. Steven got a score?
I got 45-7. They'll get a late touchdown, but I think I got 45-7.
That sounds like a score we beat them before. Tyler, you got a score?
Yeah, I like 48-20. I think this offense is going to explode early, and then I think you might see your second stringers in the second half. That might be when you see the bulk of Ryan Williams' work, and he's going to probably get a touchdown if he even plays the most of the second half. Ty Simpson is going to want to show what he can do. So I don't think the offense is going to slow down too much as far as throwing the ball in the second half. So 48-20.
Okay. All right. We got any more questions? Let's see. Okay. Amber, once again, what are your thoughts on Saban's comments today on game day about tampering done after his retirement? He said people were camping out in Tuscaloosa trying to poach Bama players. What y'all think of Steven? Is there any facts to that?
Okay. Okay. Now, there could be, because at the time when Nick Saban initially retired back on January 10th, it was an alarming wave of players that was leaving the program via the transfer portal. So Saban could be seriously on to something there. Mm-hmm. So, and this came the day after the coach at University of Miami of Ohio, Chuck Martin, goes out on the podcast and says, well, Kalen DeBoer and Bama stole our kicker. They stole our kicker. Yeah. And so Kalen DeBoer is like, look, man, Graham Nicholson put his name in the portal. We saw his name go in the portal. We reached out to bruh. We checked in on bruh. Bruh wanted to come here. So we were not in foul play whatsoever. So going back to what Coach Saban mentioned, I could see it, especially during that week or two or so period when you saw waves of players leaving that Bama pro. I could see it.
Tribal Chief.
Yes, sir. I absolutely. As soon as they saw blood in the water, they're not going to waste time circling because they know it's open season. So I'm not going to act like it wasn't an issue. But here's another little interesting fact that a lot of people don't know. And I have connections that did verify this. I won't say the coach's name, but a certain coach, as soon as Nick Saban retired, used the particular school he's at right now, their jet, to come to Tuscaloosa. He told the school he was coming to recruit someone, but instead he was going to Nick Saban and our AD asking for the job.
And I know exactly who you're talking about.
I won't say it on air.
I'm not going to say it either.
It did happen. So the poaching happened, and someone was anxious to get out of a certain other SEC school to come to Alabama. Oops.
See, I happened to make a video about college football tampering today. Kirk Ferentz, the head coach at Iowa, is getting suspended for a game. And per Pete Thamel, multiple coaches are going to be suspended for tampering violations. I didn't touch on the Bama situation. Just don't give a shit, man. Like, come on, man. He was going to go. If Bama comes knocking, bro, I don't care when they come knocking. I'm going to Bama too. Come on now. Like, leave Miami of Ohio. Granted, they might win the Mack or whatever, so it's not like they're, Kent State or anything. But
Come
Tampering's
on,
an
bro.
issue, and it's not just in Bama.
No way at all.
No, I think that's the biggest thing about it is it's not just at Bama. It's not just anywhere. I think, and you hear coaches, you're making the claims all willy-nilly, but no one is actually filing the grievances. And that's because all coaches are doing it. I talked to my good friend Joe Gaither yesterday on his show on Bama Central, and he brought up a point. No one wants to bring up the grievances, file the grievances, actually go about it the right way because everyone's doing it. And you start snitching on one person, and everyone starts snitching, and it's just a muddy area right now. It needs some real delegation by the NCAA to really clean a lot of things up before anything ever gets better.
And where I'm from, snitches get stitches, so you can't be going around snitching on everybody,
especially when you do
Tyler, on your point, real quick, the NCAA isn't the most efficient company in the world either, so a lot of people don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah. Shouts out Nick Beasley once again, $4.99. Nick Saban said it this morning on game day. Ole Miss is finally an SEC team on the line to protect dark. Okay.
Agreed.
That's hands down. I mean, that you already know how I feel about Ole Miss now, so that goes into it as well.
Yeah.
Any of these SEC schools have to protect their quarterback to win these games.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I didn't talk about our O-line. Will Campbell and Emory Jones, a couple of dogs on that LSU O-line. I didn't even mention the line. That's how excited I am for my team.
You talk about your O-line on Talking Tiger.
Hey, sir, you've exceeded your LSU quote over tonight. I need you to come.
Hey, I'm telling you. Train rate of 70. My question is, how concerned is everyone about Bama losing in-state recruiting war this year? And what? Are there concerns with us losing more recruits with rumors of DuBose to Ohio State?
Okay, so Micah DeBose is not going to go to Ohio State. He's not going to go to Ohio State. He's locked in here. Okay, so Alabama is not losing the recruiting war bad. The in-state war. Yes, Antonio Coleman flipped to Auburn. You can get you another defensive guy. The only guy in-state so far that's a loss to where you go, man, Bama could have really used him. It's the Derek Smith kid from Southside High School in Selma that flipped to Auburn. He could have been a big-time defensive back. But that's the only loss where you go, dang, we could have used that. But aside from that, but aside from that, you still have Anthony Turbo Rogers in here. You're still going after other guys in this class. So it's not Alabama just straight up losing everything. Now, granted, Hugh Freeze is a good recruiter. He always has been. But this is not to say that – and then you got to look like this. Depending on how Auburn's season starts out, if Auburn starts out flat on their face, them kids is going to flip.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure on Hugh to go out there and start winning. Because if Hugh's not going out there starting to win, them kids is going to flip.
Mm-hmm. And in that same breath, though, Stephen, I think on Alabama's side, too, I think a lot of these kids are wanting to see if Bama is indeed still Bama.
That's the main thing.
They're kind of holding out, and right now their decisions, I think, are kind of temporary. Honestly, if we are undefeated going into Georgia and we beat Georgia, you're going to see a lot of movement start to happen and chaos start to ensue. Some of these guys are going to start flipping back. If Alabama goes 10-2, 11-1, they make the playoffs and they make a good run, don't necessarily have to win it. All of a sudden, all this worrying you were doing is going to be replaced with extreme joy and happiness. So these kids, they just want to see if Bama's still Bama. But if they find out that we are, oh, Lord, here they come. But the only kid that I'd ever be concerned about and lose my mind over if he was to go somewhere else would be Luke Metz. Other than that, I'm not concerned.
Right. Now, on your point real quick, Justin, on Justin's point real quick, we're like, does the in-state war really matter? Talent comes from all over the country.
True.
Talent, right. Talent comes from all over the country. But you know this as well as I do, Marshall, that when you look at the state of Alabama, anytime Alabama loses a recruit to Auburn, Bama fans are going to lose their mind. Because Bama fans feel like Auburn should not have anything. Auburn shouldn't have a loaf of bread to a Bama fan. If Auburn get a loaf of bread, an Alabama fan gonna go find that stove and take a chair and hit the person.
You being too generous with the loaf of bread, Steve.
Look. A crowd, they don't care. Okay, so talent comes from everywhere, absolutely. But me living in this state and covering this program and covering this rivalry my entire life, if Auburn gets a small thing that's good, Bama fans ain't feeling it.
No, we ain't feeling it. I mean, and we know Auburn the money is long in Auburn, and y'all know that. I mean, we know the boosters. It's the NIL era where the money is legally passed around, so you have to be able to compete with that. So Auburn taking 2 or 3 guys, go ahead, Auburn, do what you want to do. But if you can't win on the field with the talent, then it means nothing at the end of the day. Because y'all may go 7-5, 6-6 this year. And some of those guys are going to flip their ass back around to Roll Tide.
Listen.
What happened in that portal?
I saw this question earlier, JB. I saw this question earlier. I wanted your and Tyler's answers real bad.
Oh, yeah. Tyler, you had something you had to chime in?
Yeah. I will say this about in-state recruiting. As someone who worked real closely with high school coaches, when DeBoer first came in, and I don't know, this was a while back, like when real early in his tenure here, I was talking to some coaches from down here that have prospects that, you know, are recruited heavily by D1 schools. And they have told me that, I mean, DeBoer coming straight in, you know, went a long way to almost burning bridges just for not reaching out right away. And if that's been cleaned up, maybe it has been. Maybe and this is not any head coaches. This is assistant guys that I was able to talk to, and all the way off the record as well. Heck, it could have been an Auburn fan just spewing, but you know, if there's any ounce of legitimacy to that, it is worrisome. You want to at least keep relationships with all these schools, even if you're not super recruiting them heavily. You want to keep those relationships intact always, because you never know who a big in-state guy you could miss out on in the future is because you weren't able to keep those relationships intact.
That's true. And recruiting is all about relationships. We know that. So that's true words right there from you, Tyler. So this is the last question of the night. Who's the standout player for Bama this year? Everybody, you get one player, offense, defense, whoever it may be. Marshall, give me your standout player.
Malachi Moore.
That's a great one.
That's a great
easy choice. I'm sorry. Easy choice. He's going to lead that defense to great things this year.
Nathan, you got a standout player for Bama?
All right, I'm going to take Milroe. As the LSU fan, I'll just take Milroe as y'all standout player.
Okay, all right. So nobody else can take him. Go ahead, Steve.
Standout player is that boy Tom, man. He's been chomping at the bit the last 2 years, boy. K-Law. It's K-Law time. K-Law.
I like it. I love it.
Yeah.
Whew, man. I like Jam Miller. Miller.
Great choice.
I think a lot of people overlook him just because of the recruiting pedigree of Justice Haynes. But man, you watch Jam Miller on the field, that dude looks like he's going to be playing on Sundays, and he's looking like he's going to be playing a big role on Sundays. And it's something I'm really excited to watch this year.
That's awesome. I'm gonna roll with the chat, man, because I'm peeking in the chat. I see Rolling Tide 22. I see Ifron. I'm gonna go Jahai Campbell. Jahai Campbell has a big year this year from the linebacker position. I know Lawson is probably the lead guy, but Jahai Campbell's right there. And I won't be surprised he lead the team in tackle. Jahai Campbell's a big boy. He's a beast, and I think he's gonna be knocking heads off this year.
JB added 14 pounds of muscle this summer. 14 pounds. He's gone from 230 to 244. It's big.
He's still under the radar. He's one of Bama's highest rated recruits ever, and he just barely gets talked about.
Yeah. But he's going to get talked about a lot this season. Expect to hear his name called a lot from the PA announcers and the game announcers if you're watching it on TV.
And probably me.
And probably Stephen M. Smith. Justin, you got somebody?
I sure do. Parker Brailsford.
Ooh.
PB.
And I think we all know why. This kid.
No bad snaps.
Yes, sir.
No bad snaps. If
I had to pick up Part B, our wide receiving core as a whole, everybody's going to find out, hey, Bama does have receivers, and they're a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got first and second round talent out there on the outside.
Who's wide receiver one now, y'all think?
Jeremy.
What was that, Nathan?
Who's wide receiver one, you think?
Jeremy.
Who's wide receiver 1 as of right now?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I don't keep up.
I'm gonna have to go with it's Prentice or Hale.
Well,
Hale's
injured.
Hale's
injured. Yeah, wide receiver 1 right now. Kane Law, and then Jerm.
Okay.
So your starting 3 would be Kane Law at the top at the X, Jerm at the bottom at Z, Prentice in the slot. Mm-hmm. Ryan Williams would switch out with Kane Law at X. So Ryan would come off as the number 4 receiver.
I like that.
They're going to move K-Law around quite a bit, do you think?
Say it again.
They're going to move K-Law around quite a bit, do you think?
I think they'll move K-Law around a lot. They'll have him in motion. They'll have him flank Milroe as a running back and give him the ball. They'll run him with jet sweep. They'll do a lot of motion type things with him. K-Law can also play in the slot. What's awesome, Kobe Prentice can play in the slot or outside.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of interchange with these receivers. Also, don't be surprised if Caleb Odom at 6'5", 220 gets reps at the bottom at Z. If Jerm comes out, you're throwing Caleb Odom in there.
How do you feel about Emmanuel Henderson?
That's a good question. Caleb Odom and E-Man would interchange at Z. Okay. I think Caleb and E-Man interchange at Z. Cole Adams could play slot, so Cole and Kobe Prentice could interchange. And then Rico Scott popped off so much in camp. Rico is going to slide somewhere in there.
It's always awesome to hear.
Is what they call that, I think.
It's always awesome to hear about these receivers. It's a great problem to have. It's always awesome to hear about these guys. And the coach of the year to me is going to be Coach Shep, man. Jamarcus Shepard, with all this talent at the wide receiver position that we talked about, he got his hands on them. It's going to be a lovely thing to see. But I just want them to get the ball to Law. Get the ball to K-Law, put it in his hands, and he's going to be a playmaker, however they give him the ball. That's all I'm going to say. Shouts out to Don Parker once again with another super chat. He don't like predictions. No prediction for Don Parker. He just want to see this Bama team destroy opponents. And yes, Coach Saban made a great point the SEC should look into. So, man, so many great questions tonight, man. I appreciate all of you guys in the chat for the super chats. Make sure you hit that like button. And I know this episode was great. We did a lot of talking on this episode. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share, man, subscribe. We're going to go around the room. Everybody tell where people can find you on your social medias. This is the last Saturday night for Saturday Night Talking Bama. Sunday night, September 1st, 7 o'clock Central Time. Meet us here for Sunday Night Talking Bama. Where can they find you, Tyler? And thank you for joining the show tonight, brother.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. You can find me. I do a lot on Facebook. My name is just Tyler White on there. I have a personal page and a professional page. That's Tyler White WDHN. Feel free to follow me on both. I do a lot on both of those pages. Then over on Twitter at Tyler White TV. I'm pretty active there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where you'll be able to find me on social media. And I'm trying to get bigger. I enjoy making the content on there. I enjoy interacting as much as I can.
Okay. Well, Tyler White, man, you stay in touch. We might have to get you back on the show during the season. I like your take. It's a lot. Nathan, LSU, man, tell the people where they can find you at, bro.
Man, y'all can find me primarily and most active on TikTok at Busted Knee Sports, and we are Busted Knee Sports, or I am on YouTube at Busted Knee Sports and Instagram at Busted Knee Sports. But our primary show is Tuesday night, Talking Tigers, with my co-host Tiger Bat. You can also find him on TikTok. We run from 6:30 Central to 7:30 Central. During the season, we're gonna we're gonna do a little bit of breakdown on offense, defense. Tiger Bait is a season ticket holder, so I'll be doing watch-alongs during the season for the LSU games that I get to pick up on the TV, and he'll be at the game. So Tuesday night, you're gonna have two different perspectives as well, and I just make content on about college football that I just feel like making. People get better content from me when I make content that I want to make, not putting pressure. So y'all, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. When JT reached out, I was like, man, I got to, man, because JT gave me so much insight on trying to start the show that we're doing now. So, man, I appreciate y'all.
Hey, man, no problem, man. It was fun having you on the show, man. We'll have to tap in with you during the season. And good luck to LSU. I hate this. This is my only time I'm telling you this. Good luck to LSU. But you're not going to beat Bama.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. We'd like to because what I do for an hour or so, 45 minutes after talking Tigers, after I, give me a little bite to eat, give me a little drink of water, whatever, after the show, I go live for about 45 minutes. I'd love to have some of y'all on to get a Bama presence, get a Bama opinion, man, because I love college football from the Mack to the SEC, from the East Coast to the West Coast. So if one of y'all would like to come in, even if it's not every week, every so often, just give the opinion on Bama from the authority for a Bama opinion from the guys from the Bama Standard, man.
Awesome, brother. We appreciate you, brother. Stephen M., tell the people everywhere they can find you.
Well, I float around everywhere wearing many hats, floating around everywhere, but they can find me on X at Coach and M. Smith, right there on X at Coach and M. Smith. They can find all the articles, touchdownalabama.com, as we're continuing to roll those out, touchdownalabama.com, with fall camp in the books now. I will be on the campus Monday for Coach DeBoer's press conference. We'll have some coaches and players in that as well. Hopefully DeBoer drops that depth chart, because if he drops this depth chart, the people going to lose their mind, and I'll be the first person to get my hands on that depth chart. And once I get my hands on it, I may two-step out there with a little drink in my hand trying to find a deacon's chair. But anyway, yeah, so and I will have Don Parker the 8-track playlist going as I'm getting that depth chart. So you should look at that, an 8-track playlist as I get that depth chart in my hand there. But, yeah, I'm excited for next week.
Appreciate it. We got an announcement from Mr. Justin Riley himself.
Yes, first of all, thank you, live chat, for being a part tonight. Y'all are the extra member of the team. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you to this wonderful panel. Thank you to our 2 new guests, and we hope to see a lot of you this season. So feel free to reach out as often as possible. We'll definitely include you guys in as much as we can. I'll remind everybody next week, of course, I don't have to remind you this, next week is game week for every one of us. Christmas is finally here for the next several months. Let's enjoy every bit of it. We're going to start things out with a bang on Tuesday night, the Bama Standard, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Bama Standard Network. DJ Hall will be our guest on the Bama Standard, helping us talk about Western Kentucky, his career, thoughts on the team, and all that good stuff. So y'all get ready. And again, next Saturday night, immediately following the game, you want to tune in for the Bama Standard post-game show. And you'll see a lot of these people that we have on the panel right now on there giving their thoughts and their opinions. So y'all definitely want to be a part of all we got going on.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Marshall, where do people can find you before we leave?
You can find me on X at MarshallBean19, and I will be creating myself a sports page, and I will put that on my Twitter or X, sorry, that about what the new handle will be. So just keep an eye out for that, everybody.
And here with us on Talking Bama. So next Saturday, like Justin just said, it will be the post-game show immediately after the Bama Western Kentucky game. You come here, get all your post-game content with the Bama Standard panel. We don't know exactly who all is going to be on, but just join the show any damn way. And on Sunday, September 1st, Talking Bama moves to Sunday night. So join us next Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here for Sunday night Talking Bama. We thank all you guys in the chat for watching, everybody. Thank everybody for joining us tonight, man. We're going to get out of here. Give us a roll tide for the road, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Go Tigers, man. Appreciate y'all.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Nathan. Roll Tide. Come on.